Happy Halloween out there, all you anime addicts. And in this spooky holiday season, the Anime Addicts is here to entertain you with all kinds of fun Halloween content, but also to ask for Halloween candy in our treat bag. So if you want to support the podcast, help fill our treat bags full of Reese cups. Let's see, what is the best? Reese cups. Don't give me even a bit of candy corn. No one likes that candy corn shit. Snickers bars are good. Butterfingers, that's acceptable. But no candy corn over at AAApodcast.com/join over at Patreon. And, if you don't drop us a couple, little Reese cups, you're going to get some toilet paper in your trees and, some forks in your lawn, and nobody likes that. And we'll send Moe girls to your house to trick-or-treat all night, and that's really the scariest thing of all. And now, time to start the podcast.
You are listening to an extra spooky episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your candy addiction worse at AAApodcast.com. Happy Halloween!
Hello everyone, and welcome indeed to a very spooky installment of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. My name is Mason, and welcome to episode 601. That's right, 601. You heard that right. You didn't skip an episode. This is how we're rolling with it today. And yeah, it's Halloween today when we are recording this. So, damn it, I don't care if you're listening to this in November or in 2022. It's Halloween right now, and we're feeling the mood. With me is a very spooky ethereal being floating in the abyss. It is what I believe is Caroline the Friendly Ghost.
Oh my god, is that Caroline?
Her ghost. Woo. Yes, it's a very it is a classic bedsheet ghost costume, but with a twist. If any fans of the Charlie Brown Great Pumpkin Special, I am the Charlie Brown ghost with a lot of holes poked out of this sheet.
Are you wearing a deep red shirt underneath it?
I am.
Because it looks like blood spots at times.
Oh, well, I guess that works.
It does.
I am the bloody Charlie Brown ghost. And I love this costume, but I do think I should probably get a different sheet for this because it's starting to, it's not really all that well made. I should have used better scissors.
No, I like it. It's a good look. It's a good look. And also with us, a sly, tricksy Kitsune, a little fox boy. We have, a man of mystery, Mitsugi.
Look, don't fuck with me. Don't come to my wedding. Don't watch me in the woods. Don't watch me taking a deuce in the woods. These Kitsune, they're mean. And I'll come mess you up. So, happy Halloween!
Do you have any monster or beverage of choice today?
I do. I actually have two beverages, and oh shit.
Happy Halloween!
Oh, okay, shit. Calm down. I got a red monster here because I'm pretending like I'm drinking blood, because that's how it goes.
Okay, yeah.
And then I also have an Ensure Max Protein because I'm like 93 years old, and so I won't be able to poop properly if I don't have my Ensure. So it's very important. I can't eat solid food anymore. All my teeth fell out. So.
And Caroline, what are you drinking? Are you even capable of drinking?
I mean, I kind of have to. I had I am dead because of yesterday. Drank all afternoon long. So I do have a cup of water here because, hydrate or dehydrate, but I don't know if I'll be able to sip it properly.
She's already dehydrated.
I wish I had I'm already dehydrated, but I'm going to try to bring myself back to life here.
Dehydrated.
Yeah, so it would be best if I had a straw, but I suppose I could just, de-ghostify myself a little bit by, like...
There we go.
Wah! The real scary part is underneath.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I can always just peel it back.
Awesome. Well, speaking of Ensure, you can ensure that we rise to the top of the iTunes ratings by leaving a review. We appreciate it so much. 5 stars. We love you. You love us. It's a match made in heaven.
Oh, yeah.
And we will ensure, once again, that your anime addiction gets made worse because this has been a very long intro. But nonetheless, hopefully you're watching live on Twitch, where you can see all these great costumes. Caroline, what is your question?
Okay, yeah. So I want to make sure to mention to anybody that is listening live, we still have our anime pumpkin contest. So you can submit your pumpkins by tonight, October 31st, and maybe you'll get a prize for your pumpkin. So I hope that, you will make sure to send your pumpkin to us. Has to be anime themed. Could be painted, could be anything.
You had a fantastic pumpkin, Caroline. I really enjoyed that.
It was great.
It was.
Yeah, I talked a bit about it on our Hobby Addicts. So,
Yeah, it was a very good
very
GG.
nice.
So
Yeah, GG
check
from
that
A
Cool
out.
lot of work. 6 hours.
You can hear
And I
about
used
those
wood carving
adventures
knives.
in the Hobby Addicts, where Caroline and I recorded our Halloween shenanigans over the past week, and we'll give Mitch some time today in this episode to talk about his. But as we said, Twitch is the place to be to watch us live, where we stream on Sunday at 5 p.m. EDT, but not for long, because that will soon be 5 p.m. EST, I think it is, and because November 7th. I think that's
so.
when it switches. So yeah, next time you hear this, we'll be in the future, which is always the case. And Facebook and Discord, we'll give you all the details at the end of the show to check that out. Before we get into the plans for this episode, because we got lots to get into. Reminder: Anime NYC. Caroline and myself will be there. We will be presenting. We'll be hanging out. Come say hi. And next week on the podcast, we have a super special episode 600 planned, but to make it special, we need you, the listeners, to participate. So if you want to call in, do a little bit live talking, just chatting, we're going to be hanging out, and we'll figure out the details eventually, because, we're on 601 right now. But yeah, stay tuned on the Discord for ways to participate and join in and get your voice on the podcast, and we would love to have you. So stay tuned for details there. On this episode today, though, obviously, ton of Halloween fun. We're going to talk about all sorts of the typical stuff you normally do. I don't have any candy to eat, but I think I'll manage. As well as our third week of impressions with Ranking of Kings, Lupin III, Takt OP, Senpai, ga Uzai Kohai no Hanashi. I should have prepared that in time.
Yeah, good
and
luck with this
another long one that I'm just going to say, we'll see if we get time to Shin no Nakama Janai.
No, listen. No.
Shin no Nakama Janai no Dusha no Patiwo. I don't know. You got it. You know it by now.
Wait, let me try.
Yeah, you do it. You do it.
I want to try. Okay. Shin no Nakama Janai to Yusha no Party wo oidasareta no de hankyo de slow life suru koto ni shimashita.
I like how she threw the most Japanese accent onto slow life.
Slow life. AKA just another isekai, of course.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Anything else before we actually, start the podcast that people came here to listen to?
It's time for big news of the week.
All right, Caroline, let's hear it. She's like, I'm a ghost.
Yeah, that's basically going to be the entire episode. I just hope that it's already very hot in this costume. Anywho, so big news of the week. Honestly, I looked forever, could not find anything interesting. I looked for hours. I was about to give up, and then I remembered. Probably the biggest news to come out of Japan, period, this week is the marriage of Princess Mako and Kei Komuro. So let's give you the rundown. Yes, way! So the Princess Mako of Japan, she is Emperor Naruhito's niece and the daughter of his younger brother. They got married. She and her, they met in college. A man named Kei Komuro. They got married in Tokyo on Tuesday, but with no big ceremony or any of the traditional rites you would see in a royal wedding. You see, the wedding was delayed for years so that so the couple just registered their marriage at a government office. She is also foregoing the payment of $1.3 million that female royals receive after they lose their imperial status by marrying a commoner. And a lot of this stems from public disapproval of Kei Komuro because of a financial dispute between his mother and his mother's former fiance. So really nothing to do with him personally, but his family drama got a little bit of attention. They also critics were questioning whether Kei Komuro, who is a commoner, is fit to marry a princess, especially since his mother raised him on her own. He also returned to Japan after going to New York for law school with longer hair pulled back in a ponytail, which is extremely scandalous to
Oh my God.
How dare.
Japanese media. And Mako had to lose her imperial status just by getting married. And with her gone, there's only 17 members left in the entire royal family. Only 5 of them are men, and those men are the only people who are eligible to ascend the throne. And in addition to not being eligible for the throne because of their gender, women of the royal family consistently deal with poor mental health, as I think a lot of people in royal families do in general. Also due to the conservative public eye, pressures to reproduce male heirs. As I mentioned, there's only 5 of them right now. And unlike Harry and Meghan, it is going to be expected that Mako and Komuro are probably just going to start a quiet new life in the United States.
In the countryside, in Nisekai?
Which, yeah, I think they're probably going to New York City, to be honest. But yeah, it is just a lot of annoyance with well, I guess the royal family doesn't really do all that much. They are just ceremonial, but it really is telling the amount of freedom that the women in the family have, even though they greatly outnumber the men. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a feminist, but it just sucks, It just sucks for them, because I don't think there are a lot of instances where they keep their royal status, because there are not a lot of males in the royal family that wouldn't be weird for them to marry.
Yeah, you get some inbreeding going on.
Yeah. So, they lose their status as members of the royal family basically at any point in time. I mean, I don't know much about the royal family, to be honest. I could be wrong, but it does not seem very likely that a woman would be able to keep her status in the royal family when they get married. So
yeah, most of them do not. Most of them have to lose that status.
I'm just impressed.
I'm sure that they. Sorry.
I'm impressed. She forewent $1.3 million that she apparently gets for getting married. That's like what?
It's kind of, yeah. I feel like a lot of royal families do that, as giving them something to live on, like a stipend. But it's just nothing goes right for them, And they got married because they really love each other, and that's great for them. And I'm glad that they were able to do what they wanted, which is to get married. And I don't think Mako would really even care that much about being part of the royal family, because it seems to be coming with a lot of trouble. But I mean, she basically goes across the world to live with her husband, because it's just too much to live in Japan, I would think. And also because I think her husband is a lawyer in New York. So I don't know. It's just a lot. A lot that I don't understand as a layperson. So yeah, but it seems like a lot.
Given her name, I thought for sure she'd have like green or blue eyes, but no. Apparently the Mako has not. She's not been quite immersed in it quite enough yet. So she's still working on it. All right, bad joke. Okay.
No, all good. My big news is not really anything. We've all seen the Pokemon sleeping bags, like the Metapod or the Gengar head caves, or all the Pokemon merchandise that you can use to adorn your house with. It's all cute. It's fine. Whatever. Who cares? Answer. I care, because this is the first Pokemon cushion for lounging that I would actually want. And we have a massive 6.2 foot long Garchomp. Just this cute little dragon boy that you can purchase for a measly $500.
Oh my god.
It's coming out as part of a product of new lines that are commemorating the upcoming launch of the remakes of Diamond and Pearl. They are available for pre-order in early January of next year, and you'll get it by the summer. So if you ever wanted to just have a big waifu pillow that is a winged Pokemon dragon, it can be yours.
Who the hell in Japan has room in their place for this thing?
Nobody. So you should buy it
Maybe
for me.
Maybe using it instead of an actual bed.
That's 6 feet is like the width of some of these
instead of going for an actual bed, this is what they get.
Yeah.
Man, you're gonna have some back pain for sure. I don't know.
I
couldn't sleep on that.
But you'll still be wrapped in the arms of a Pokemon. Is it worth it? I think so.
Oh my god, I guess.
It might be. I mean, so they have not released a picture or image of this thing, but they have a cartoon of a person lounging into the cradle that the dragon forms with the wing pulled over the cartoon like it's a very small blanket. And I want it, please, thank you. This is the first one where I'm like, ooh, that's pretty nice.
But you would not-
$501? No,
you
I
would
would
not
not
pay this
actually
money.
buy it. No, I would not. But
I mean, that's like 80 trips to Koko Ichiban.
We are now going to start equating
into
numerical
curry.
forms into Koko Ichiban orders.
Well, you damn well should. I mean, it's
Yeah, it's a way of life.
yeah. I mean,
We should have our own system for numbers on the AAA podcast. And that
Yeah,
could be
like
one of them.
Mitch ranks it like 7 Koko Ichibans out of 12. Like that's his status. Yeah. So why would you live back in Florida, Mitz, if you had the option of living in California, which has I think Koko Ichibans?
I don't know. Maybe not wanting to pay $7 a gallon for gas.
Let's see.
That's where I would start.
There are 6 Koko Ichibans in the United States, 5 of which are in California. Do you know
Yeah.
where the 6th one
Wow.
is located?
New York, probably.
Texas.
Texas. Well, hell, I could go to Texas.
We can go to Texas, my dude.
Yeah.
AAA meetup, Koko
Why
Ichiban in
Texas?
Frisco, Texas.
Makes
Is that
no
the
sense.
only thing we would do?
Yeah, we would just go there for
Oh,
this, and then we would leave because you
We're gonna
can't
get-
cop it.
We're gonna get an Airbnb
But
right
it's in
next
like
to the.
Dallas or Austin or something?
It's in Frisco.
Yeah.
Where's that? I don't even know.
Come on, you don't know where Frisco, Texas is?
Oh my goodness,
No.
how could you not?
I've never
Rookie
even
move.
been to
I think it's
okay, I've
close
been to
to
Florida,
Dallas.
but
I think it's close to Dallas. I don't know. I don't know Texas.
We'll get an
I'm sorry.
Airbnb right next to it, and we'll just go there like every day. It'll be fantastic.
Koko
how about if there's a
Ichiban-
listener listening from Frisco, Texas, let us know. What is
Take
there
a-
to do in Frisco, Texas,
Take
other
a
than
picture
Koko
of Koko
Ichiban?
Ichiban to taunt Mitz, because that is his favorite curry chain. That's the first meal I ever had with Mitsugi
Oh,
was
yeah.
Koko Ichiban.
Well, yeah,
so
so it should be. Come
Yeah.
on.
And take a
There's-
picture every single time you go to eat there. Let them know just how good it is.
we should. Anyway, that was my literal big, not real news of the week. How about you, Mitz?
I don't really have any big news. I do have some Halloween plans.
Lay it on us.
I went to Krispy Kreme this morning. So I reserved the. I wonder if I can get a photo of this. I reserved the Krispy Kreme Halloween donuts about 2 weeks ago because I really wanted the Krispy Kreme Halloween donut box. So it's there's a little bit of a picture here. I might be able to post it on Twitch for you guys. But so I got up. I put the reservation in for 9. I went out there. And the line at the donut place was so insane that I actually ended up not being able to get the donuts.
What?
Yes. It's very
Well,
frightening.
that's a horrible drop.
So, hey, it's Halloween. I've been watching people get murdered
frightening.
all month on TV. Here are the Halloween donuts, sort of. But, they got their lobby closed because there's not enough people working at the Krispy Kreme. And so there were literally, I didn't count them, but it wrapped around the building. This is the drive-through. Wrapped around the building, all the way through the main parking lot, out of the parking lot, onto the side street, all the way down the side street, take a left, go off on the main road,
Oh, jeez.
down the main road,
Just for donuts?
and almost all the way to the highway. And it was probably close to like 60 cars, and it just wasn't going to happen, and especially since I screwed up the scheduling this morning for the podcast. Like, I could have waited there for like an hour for those donuts, but I had to pass on them. I mean, they are pretty fantastic. You look at the picture, there's like ones that look like pumpkins, ones that look like cats, there's one with a witch's broom. I mean, it looks fucking fantastic, and I'm really upset, but I didn't have to pay for them, so...
Oh, that's good.
And it comes in like a little spell book box, so...
That's cute.
But no Krispy Kreme donuts. And then later tonight, got tickets to go see the new Halloween movie. So I watched the old
Ooh,
Halloween movie,
nice.
the 1978 one, last
Kills.
last night at about we put it on like real late. And the 1978 Halloween movie is not very good. It's actually like pretty awful.
I know.
But I'm hoping this new one will be better. It's 1978 though. Like in 1978, people were scared of anything. Like we
They were scared of
I
Jaws.
Yeah, I mean
I
we
watched
have
Children of the Corn one year, and it was laughably bad.
yeah.
It's so good. Yeah.
Exactly. It's
But I
like
told my parents that I watched it, and they were like, "Oh my god!"
horror movies. Horror movies are just on like an entirely different level now. You know, it's like people back in like the 70s were just like these soft little buttercups, and now we're like these like savage, desensitized monsters today. And it's like unless some guy's getting like his intestines ripped out like fucking candy rope out of his chest, like it's just not enough for us now.
Yeah.
So it wasn't very good, but I'm hoping the movie tonight's good. And then after that, I got tickets to the 13th Floor Haunted House again, which was a pretty phenomenal haunted house 2 years ago when I went. And then last year, because of COVID, it was basically just the same haunted house over again. And I think it was because they couldn't like modify. They didn't have any people to modify it during the year or whatever. So I'm really hoping the 13th Floor Haunted House is better this year. So we're gonna go do that at about 9 o'clock tonight, and then I will come home probably at like close to midnight, just totally exhausted. So it should be a fun time. Do you guys have anything you want to mention for Halloween plans?
I mean, I basically gave the rundown on during our Hobby Addicts, but I went on a Hoboken bar crawl yesterday.
Ooh.
That was pretty fun, up until the point where they just stopped letting us even online. We bought these bar crawl tickets for like $40, and they wouldn't even let us wait online after some time passed because I guess they were so full and at capacity. They didn't even want people they were at capacity in the line, apparently. I don't even know what that means. So, yeah, even though we bought $40 tickets that were supposed to let us into all these bars, we only got into 3 of them. So, I mean, and that's pretty good. But even so, it was like 8 o'clock by the time we wrapped up because, of that. And the night was still young. But we just decided to head back. We watched some movies, got some Domino's, drank some Long Island iced tea.
Shit.
And that's it.
I had Domino's last night, too.
Domino's is the scariest of all pizzas.
I don't even like Domino's all that much. I was kind of annoyed that we were getting Domino's instead of something else, but
As you should
it was
be.
like right around.
Yeah,
it was
but-
like right around the block from where we were, so we decided to go.
Yeah, but
I decided to get some boneless chicken.
really the scariest thing these days are prices for anything, and but like pizza is like the one thing that hasn't gone up in price. I got that. It's the deep dish medium pizza with 3 toppings last night for $9.60. I was like, that's a fucking deal. Yeah, I'll give a
There you
scream
go.
for that. So these prices are screaming scary.
For the record, Mitsuki has now switched off the Kitsune mask for the Attack on Titan mask.
Nice.
And Caroline is being a trooper and still in the spooky ghost, of which she continues to wave around spookily, and it's very funny.
It's great comedic potential with this costume, to be honest. It's great. I love
It
it.
really is. It's a great bit.
The really scariest thing is that if I take my pants off as of Titan, I have factually no genitalia because they have no penises. Or,
Exactly. You're
or
really
hoo-has.
committed to the costume.
They have no hoo dillies or cha chas in Attack on Titan. Anyway, spooktacular.
The only bad thing about this costume is that you can't get any of my reaction faces today.
Mason, did you want to talk about any of your Halloween plans?
No, I don't have anything all that interesting. I did some corn mazes and
Ooh.
stuff like that. So,
that sounds cool.
No. We'll get into our main topic, I think, which is more Halloween stuff because man, we are feeling it. Where does like Halloween rank on your guys' list of like holidays? Is it like one of your favorites? One of your least favorites? You could go with or without it.
Oh shit. Halloween is it's probably number 2, I'd say. It's Christmas and Halloween probably. I mean, after that maybe the 4th of July after that maybe, but yeah, it's probably number 2. How about you, Caroline?
I love Halloween. It's great. I mean, I do wish, I was a younger kid and could go trick-or-treating. It's not socially acceptable anymore for me. So that's too bad.
Boo.
But yeah, I love Halloween time. It's great.
I mean, that's why you wear a costume so people don't know you're not a kid anymore. It's the whole point.
True, but I do look extremely tall to go trick-or-treating.
Just
They
say
wouldn't
you're
be able to
2
tell with your
kids
ghost outfit.
in a trench coat.
That could be possible.
That could work,
But
yeah.
I would also be alone. I would be going alone. That's a little strange.
Well, that's why you get other friends to also dress up. That's.
I don't know.
Anyway, so we have a couple Halloween topics that we'll run through, 2 of which were submitted by classic content generating machine, friend of the show, Yotaru Vegeta, who never fails to deliver better ideas than we ourselves can do. So I figured we'll just jump right into it if you guys want.
Yeah, definitely.
The
Yeah.
first one is, he writes, instead of the same broad topic of spooky shows and films, the first idea is your favorite undead characters. These can be not only zombies and vampires, but ghosts, mummies, and ghouls. Essentially anything that was once alive. And I think we each made a pretty long list of our favorite one of these characters. So who wants to go first? And just kind of run through
you
your
took
list
a
as a
lot
whole.
of my
Well, that's why I'll
ideas.
let you go first, and you
How
can
could
steal
you,
any of the
Carolyn?
ones I stole from you.
Mason stole them. How
Well,
could you?
From
But,
the list of things that Mason did not take already.
You know what though? It's fair play because you stole about half of Mason's impressions from this season. So, oh my God,
Yeah,
he came
guess.
back
Yeah.
with a vengeance.
Once again, I actually, just because I was doing the outline, I just barfed up, as I do before, all of the possible options in all of anime, and just left none for my co-host. So I forgive you stealing some of them back because I knew you had them first. But go right ahead.
Okay. So, of the list of ones that you did not take already, my favorite, we're doing undead characters, right? That's the first one?
Yep.
Okay. So, I went to the deep recesses of my anime list, considering that, the first ones on the top of my head, Mason already had down. And I picked Shiro from Hozuki no Ritetsu because he is just a little derpy white dog, and I love him. I love
he's
his voice
great.
actor a lot too. He's just so I cannot help myself but crack up every single time Shiro says something in that show, even if it's not meant to be super funny. It's just he's great. I love him.
What's the dichotomy of this little white puffball just grinning ear to ear, having the time of his life as people are ruthlessly and mercilessly tortured in hell for all eternity, and he's just
I love that for
time
him.
of his life. Yeah.
And should I do another one or
Yeah, just
or
go
are we
through
going
the
in
whole list.
circle?
Now we'll just go through the whole list one at a time.
Well, my whole list is two things.
We'll go through this one and then pick some from my list that you want to take.
Okay. So this one is from Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju, but it is a bit of a spoiler. So if you have not seen that show and are interested in watching it, I recommend you just look away a little bit. So this character, I'll be a little vague at first. This character, he is a great character that when he's alive. But when he comes back as a spirit and haunts one of the main characters of the show, it is just amazing. He's creepy, yet you still like him, and it's just it's haunting, seriously. And this is coming from a ghost. Yeah, he's one of the great characters from this show. So, actually, I think I can leave it at that. I don't have to spoil exactly who it is.
Oh wow.
If you've seen
Okay.
the show,
yeah.
you know.
If you've seen it, you know. Especially when in the, I think it was the second opening, every once in a while they will change his eye color to a deep red, and it's some shit's about to go down in this episode.
Oh god, those openings are so good.
Yeah, they're so good. Let's see. From your list.
Yeah.
Obviously
she's gonna take
Zombieland
one.
Saga.
Oh shit.
Zombieland Saga was probably the first one you would think of for this discussion of great undead characters. But there really isn't too much to say. We've just reviewed season 2, so everything that we love about those characters, we have literally just said. There's just so many of them, and all of them different. And slapstick comedy with their heads falling off and never gets old. And I'll just do one more from your list that I would have put down. Everyone from Death Note that was once dead and is now alive. Like Ryuk, and then there's the other female death god, whatever. The death gods are great.
The other Shinigami, yeah.
Rem. There we go. Is it Red? Or am I just mixing that up with ReZero?
ReZero. But I wasn't sure at first.
What? What's her name? I thought it's something similar to Rem at least.
Shinigami.
I don't know who the hell you're
yeah,
talking
it's
about.
Rem. It's Rem. You're right.
Ha ha! Yeah, so Ryuk for obvious reasons, he's great. Apples for days, and just him going through apple withdrawal is worth him mentioning on this
Ryuk.
list.
agree.
Yes.
I rewatched episode 1 and 2 not too long ago, and it's still really fun. Like, he's such a goofball.
You know what I watched last
It's
night?
great.
What did you watch last night?
I put on episode 4, Gateway Shuffle. Episode 5. Was it 5? Gateway episode 5 of Cowboy Bebop, which I think is Gateway Shuffle.
Okay.
And I ended up watching episodes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and half of episode 11.
Holy shit.
I was like, this show is so fucking good. Like, it's just unbelievable how good Cowboy Bebop is. It's wow, holy shit. It's
You are going to be so set for when the remake comes out. You're going to have like a great 1-to-1 comparison. Yeah, episode 4 is Gateway Shuffle.
I just love that. This is off topic, but I just love that. I love that quote when Spike's laying and all the bandages at the end of episode 6 after he gets thrown out of the church window, and he's having like the dreams, and he wakes up and Faye is like sitting next to him like singing, which is very like not like Faye because she's very selfish and very much like Fujiko, and she's just like kind of singing softly and kind of being nice to him and waiting for him to wake up. And she's like, you've been sleeping for 3 days, silly, or whatever. And at the end of the conversation, he like gestures over to her and he says to his bandages on his face, he goes, you sing off key. It's just like, it's just
God, I love
bitch
Spike.
move.
I love Spike so
He's
much.
so good. Anyway, are you done, Caroline, with your list?
For now, I'll probably jump in on some of Mason's list. I don't want to just pick
okay.
and choose too much.
All right. Well, mine's pretty short too. A really good one here is I've talked about this years ago, but there's an anime called Ayakashi that features a story in the first arc called Yotsuya Kaidan, which is the most performed and most adapted ghost story in Japan. It's the story of the ghost of Oiwa, who is this woman who basically gets scorned by her husband/boyfriend or whatever, and her strong passion for revenge lets her bridge the gap back to Earth, where she just proceeds to take revenge hideously upon him and everybody who's associated with the situation that caused her death and whatever, and her scorn or whatever. And she looks a lot like the girls you see from like The Ring and whatnot. But the coolest thing about Yotsuya Kaidan is that several productions of Yotsuya Kaidan, which includes like TV shows, movies, kabuki, plays, etc., a lot of them have reported mysterious accidents or injuries and even deaths of the cast members that have been performing this adapted kabuki play. So much so that it's now a tradition for the cast and crew of these productions to make a pilgrimage to Oiwa's grave in Japan and ask her for permission and blessings for their production before they perform it, because so many people have been hurt and killed performing Yotsuya Kaidan. So pretty neat. If you want to watch this, Ayakashi Samurai Horror Tales features it pretty prominently for about 4 episodes and at the beginning of that show, and just besides, Ayakashi's a pretty solid ass show. So there's a pretty good ghost for you. Also, High School of the Dead. Every 14-year-old boy's wet dream personified in a pair of breasts that defy gravity when like bullets fly through them and shit. So I was actually talking to a coworker of mine who we were working at late until like 11 p.m. this week, and he revealed that he's an anime nerd, and he was like, "Have you ever seen High School of the Dead?" I was like, "Of course you've seen that, you pervert." So that's pretty.
Of course, you son of a bitch. Embrace biceps bulging.
I want more High School of the Dead. Like, why not? I mean, it was just a lot of fun. Like they could easily make another High School of the Dead show where there's like,
Aren't there a ton of sequels?
I don't think. If there are, I haven't seen them. But
let me look it up. I know a Metal Gamer in the chat calls it the Booby Matrix.
There's like that overweight kid that's always like playing with like gun magazines, and then he's like just freaks out when he gets to shoot a gun at a zombie. And there's just like the super sexy, over sexualized like anime girls that are walking around like half nude half of that show, and there's just like tons of just zombies getting blown up. I mean, it's just a ton of fun. It's got a little bit of everything for everybody, I think. So I'd love more High School of the Dead. That's probably like near the top of my list of things that I'd like to see come back. And then
you're right. I was just thinking of the OVA that came out with it, but yeah, there's not like another series or anything.
Geeky Isha from Twitch says that the author passed away, which is unfortunate, but you don't really need the author to make more High School of the Dead. It doesn't even have to be High School of the Dead. Just make something else like it. You don't even have to have a writer for that fucking show. It's literally just them running from building to building and like through the streets, like just having ridiculous scenes of action and like just etchy. I mean, that's basically what High School of the Dead is. You don't have to have a writer for that. I could fucking write that shit. And then Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. I really like this show. It kind of came and went like the wind, but it features a lot of undead like monster attacks in it, and just some like great action and it's just amazing scenes of just splendor from like Wit Studio. It does look gorgeous, and it doesn't have much of a story really, but like it's definitely a really fun show, and I'd like to see more Cabaneri as well. And that features undead also, and of course there's always if you want to go for the extremely low hanging fruit, you can go for like Alucard from Hellsing. He's always pretty good. So
he's a ton of fun.
Yeah. So, but that's about it. I didn't want to take too much time, but people should go check out Ayakashi. That show is really cool. I've talked about it 3 or 4 times before during this time of year, and it's worth seeing for sure. And I think the second and third stories in that 3-story collection are really good also. So,
and if you like it, it's the predecessor for Mononoke, which is another phenomenal horror series.
Yes, it is.
So
it's phenomenal.
Very good. My list, I kind of divided it between casts of undead characters, which would include the Arbiters from Death Parade. They are a bunch of fun and definitely a nice installment to what otherwise is just a nice little death game show. The Raka from Habane Renmei, they're undead in a sense. Another great show, not too spooky but very impactful.
Yeah.
And then as far as individuals, yeah, go ahead.
Habane Renmei though, I don't know if that does it really count though, because they're not really undead. They're like in.
I mean, they literally died.
Well, yeah, but I'm pretty sure they're in purgatory in that show.
Yeah, but I'd say that's pretty.
I mean, it's a great show anyway.
I mean, they're dead, and they're still living. I would call that undead. They're just bending the rules a bit.
One way or the other, people should watch Habane Renmei. I know it's kind of older now and probably doesn't get watched much, but it's that show's pretty interesting. So I always enjoyed it.
Speaking of shows that Mitz does enjoy, how about Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho?
Fuck yeah.
Technically died like instantly in that show.
Pretty much.
You kind of forget that he died at the beginning because it kind of has a weird start, but it's great, so I'm counting that. Yami Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! The best part about it, just this just ancient being just possessing a person. Awesome. Babu, the cute little cat from Sankaria, a show full of undead people.
Oh, yeah.
Including Arisen from the Dead Girlfriend, but we don't need to talk about that here. Wei Wuxian from Modao Zushi. He dies and is like resurrected right off the bat. Mako from Anohana, probably not the spookiest character on this list, but certainly a ghostly being entity that haunts. And, we were kind of debating about this one because we don't think he's ever died, but you can't leave any of the people from bookseller Honda-san out.
But only one of them is any sort of spookiness, and I guess one is wearing a jack-o'-lantern as a head.
They're all kind of Halloween vibey, and you know what? You can't not bring it up.
But they're not dead. They are just portrayed in a very strange way.
They're not dead. This could be a bookshop in the afterlife where Yaoi fans go.
It's a semi-autobiographical story, though, about the mangaka working in a bookstore. The mangaka is still alive, canonically.
Headcanon, though, his characters are dead, so I'm counting it. Bookseller Honda-san, I like him. Any excuse to talk about it, I'm taking it. Don't take this from me. It's a spooky ghost.
They make no mention of the fact that they look strange. It is just how they are portrayed. It's not a part of the story at all.
This is a very progressive society where they don't discriminate on if you're alive or not. It's flexing.
I am doing my best to put a face through the holes of this costume.
No.
Yeah. I mean, really the scariest thing of all is, well, we'll get to it later. Ooh, a teaser. You don't even, this shit is so fucking scary. Oh my God. Oh. You'll find out later. Only one thing can extract a scream like that from somebody.
Ooh, the suspense. Well, let's get into our second topic, also provided by...
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
There is a good point made by Kamichi in the Twitch chat. Aren't all retail workers dead inside? And actually, yes, that is very true. So you are right, Mason.
Thank you,
They
thank
are
you.
dead.
You're about
I-
to not have any retail workers here pretty soon, I think.
I knew Cammy would have my back. Also, chat, Kikisha say ban from Seven Deadly Sins, and Kiki from Genshin. I don't know that character. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So I'll count it. I'll allow it. Second topic, also from Yotaru Vegeta, and this is where we're friends. This is a safe space, and we can talk about the things in anime that scare us the most. Because as they write, it's not only the monsters and things that go bump in the night, off-model characters, filler arcs that refuse to end, uninspired isekai, anime so bad that on Mel it can't even score a 6. What frightening encounters have you had with anime? Caroline, we'll let you once go first again.
Okay. I talk about it quite a bit because I'm the only person here that's watched the entirety of Naruto. The Naruto filler arcs haunt me to this day. This was back when I did not know what filler was. And now I am very wise to that. But back then, hundreds upon hundreds of episodes where nothing happens. Nothing of importance. And I just thought, like, okay, I guess it's just part of the story.
Was it really
Maybe
hundreds?
this character will pop up again. Honestly, it gets up to the hundreds of how many filler episodes there are in Naruto. And there was this extremely long arc of filler that is in the middle of one of the big arcs in the anime. They just stop the war arc for this dumb alternative universe arc that I don't care about. And so yeah, it honestly frightens me that I managed to watch that much of nothing for such a long
Wait,
time.
you watched all of those?
Let me tell you, I did not know what filler was. I thought it might come up. I thought these details they were sharing might come up at some point in this show. Never did.
This is truly
Yeah,
frightening.
it is frightening. Oh,
I like how you have 20
I
different
don't like
screen
these drops.
drops. I like how there's not the same one. It's a different one each time. Also, I can't imagine Caroline looking back like, I can't believe my power to watch all this useless anime.
You know what I was gonna
Did
do?
you have Pancake scream several times into a microphone
No,
for all that?
I didn't. I have a lot
You
of
just
screen
found it
drops.
online.
What I almost did was I almost just made like a 40-minute clip of audio that just had like a scream randomly like every so many minutes, but I thought that would get too annoying for you guys. So I just took like 5 or 6 of them.
There you go.
Like,
We take
nice.
that. What I really want to know is how you have them labeled in your soundboard. Are you like Yelp.mp3?
Scream 1,
Long
Scream
shout.
2, Scream
Oh.
3, Scream 4, Scream 5, etc.
Gotcha. Okay.
So even he doesn't know what he's gonna get.
Exactly. Ooh, the mystery of it all.
I know which Scream you thought was too much,
frightening.
Caroline, so I'll be sure to play that one at least one more time.
Ooh, excellent.
Fantastic.
That was Scream 5. Caroline
Should I
didn't
put
like
another
Scream
one
5.
in?
Yeah, we'll go through your whole list first.
Okay. When I dislike a relatively popular show and I try to describe why I dislike it, but I really can't put my finger on it. You know, because I don't want to just say, well, I don't think it's good. And they'll ask me like, oh, why don't you think it's good? And I say like, I kind of not sure. Like, you get those feelings about certain animes, like you feel like something's off about it and you just cannot for the life of you think of what is bothering you about it. But you still want to make sure your opinion is known that you dislike the show. You know?
No, I don't usually have to stretch to find things. It's like, can you imagine
Maybe it's
liking a
just me.
or a popular show? I couldn't imagine liking something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily just disliking a popular show, but for me, I always have to have a very precise way of describing things and make sure that it's accurate to what I actually think. And so sometimes that gets very difficult to really say why I dislike a show. And actually, one of the shows I'll be reviewing next week, I mentioned to Mason in chat a couple days ago. I was like, I kind of don't really know why, but I just dislike it. I just can't even tell you what is wrong with it that I feel like is odd. So I'm going to do my best to describe that next week, but I need to figure out the words for it. So that also frightens me when I have to try to do that. Just awful things that happen with anime. Tragic production mistakes that ruin chances of a proper adaptation. Like, I'm thinking Promised Neverland, you know? The second season was crap. They tried to wrap up the entirety of the manga within 2 minutes of the last episode. And with that, what are the possibilities of getting a proper adaptation? Not much. Like, maybe in decades when they try to reboot it.
Of Promised Neverland?
Yeah, The Promised Neverland.
I mean, that fucking... Yeah, that's...
What?
I don't know. I don't really care if it gets rebooted. I mean...
Well, I know a lot of people who do want to have an actual good adaptation. I really liked the first season. I was excited for the second, and then they went and did that.
I mean, it's just the laundry list of shows that had bad sequels, you know, but it was pretty bad. There you go.
I'm just saying that one as an example, as a popular example. Because there's that. Then there's also One Punch Man Season 2, which was not that great. And even if they successfully adapt things, like as they are done in the manga, but it just looks like garbage and the interest has gone down, it really kind of ruins an anime for people. So, yeah. Also, Tokyo Ghoul, like, I know they managed to adapt it, but that whole Rude situation really sucked. And finally, coming off that similar topic, episode 15 of Dororo, where they got a different director, a different animation style, everything drastically changed, and it looked horrible. Just that specifically.
Just episode 15. Wow.
Yeah, it's episode 15. Everybody, if you watched Dororo, you know what I'm talking about. Where like people just looked strange. There's that one meme of Hyakimaru running uphill in a forest, and he just looks so derpy. It looks so bad. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It didn't really have an effect on the show as a whole, but that one episode was just horrific to watch. People can make the argument that, like, oh, it's just a different animation style, you know? I don't like that argument, because if it's different, great, but it's like, it's garbage to look at.
All right. I got 3 things.
That's it.
That scare me predominantly. And the first one is the scariest thing of all. You must never forget this. This is extremely important. Never forget what is truly the most scary thing in anime. God, I didn't even say it yet. What the hell? She's screaming. I didn't even say it. Honestly, it's Moe. No, not the Moe.
That was unexpected.
Oh my god, Moe is truly the most frightening thing. Moe cost us a hockey anime recently.
It really did. It
did. I mean, it's going to cost us a golf anime here too, in short order. So, you know, so it truly is a threat to the anime's existence. You really can't have anything serious anymore in anime. It always has to be Moe, fucking idol girls. But on all seriousness, the second thing, and this is truly frightening. None of these are serious, guys. Spoiler alert. Netflix hell is truly frightening, not because Netflix hell requires you to wait an extra 4 months or something to watch some show that ought to be available right away, but because when you are ultimately driven to some random pirate site online to watch some anime, you know, 5 weeks late that you should have been watching from day one, you will have to suffer and sift through some of the most truly terrifying pornography advertisements you've ever seen on the sidebar of these streaming sites, because no matter what anime streaming site you choose to watch some anime that you're already paying for through Netflix, so honestly I don't really feel that bad, you're going to see horrendous pornography everywhere. I don't know, come on, can't we advertise like figures or, you know, just like happy puppies? I don't know, happy shit? Like, why does it have to be like just the most gratuitous scenes of like monsters and CG pornography? It's just like unbelievable. And then
I concur.
I will say the best part of our hentai episodes though is when Pancake joins in and we tried to go to a site to watch something horrifying, and then the ads are 10 times worse than what we were trying to show.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like
I one time wanted to show an anime to some friends of mine, but I did not have the streaming service to show it on. So I pulled it up, you know, as one does, and they were looking at me as if I was crazy. I'm like, the show is perfectly innocent, but it's because of the darn ads that make me look bad.
Oh, yeah. Of course. And then you're going to get like porn ads on random sites because you went to that one. And then, of course, the other frightening thing in anime, and I'm truly perplexed by this, is anime characters that are drawn with absolutely no nipples at all. So if you think
man
Or
right
as
now
you've written it,
with
Nipples.
no private parts.
if you think about it, like as I'm showing in this photo, the cast of Free has absolutely none of these characters have any nipples. Not one of them has nipples. I
It's
guess
because
we
they would
decided
cause too much drag when they're swimming.
they just cut them off. They tape them down, and nipples are either have either been deemed to be like offensive to or like maybe not offensive, but like obscene, and they can't show them, or I don't know. People just don't want to look at nipples on their free boys. Like maybe somewhere along the line, someone decided that nipples are just unappealing to see. I guess, but no. You might think to yourself, "Oh, but Mitz, that's just man nipples." There's like lots of other type. Like, what about the girls? Oh yeah, it applies to girls as well. Absolutely.
That's
Here's a picture
weird.
of Ryoko Matoi from Kill la Kill, completely nippleless, unbelievable. This is not an uncensored photo. This is just how it's drawn in the anime. She should have nipples in this shot, but she does not.
Trigger didn't have the budget for nipples.
They didn't have the budget.
Maybe the nipples are like on top. Maybe she just has weird boobs. People have weird boobs sometimes.
So you must never forget the three most frightening things in anime this Halloween. One, without a doubt, it's moe. It's gonna cost you your favorite anime concept one of these days, as it has cost us now recently. Also, as I said, Netflix hell. Stay away from those porn sites. You just never know what you're gonna get. You're gonna see just your grandma. You're just trying to show your grandma episode 1 of Fruits Basket. It's the most frightening thing you're ever gonna bump into online. And 3, where are the nipples? Come on, free the nipple.
I mean,
Free the nipple.
Aladdin doesn't have nipples.
Free
Even
the
Disney
nipple.
is weird with it.
Yep. There you go. Oh, and
I'll pick my 3 most frightening encounters. Ooh, that was savage.
It's so uncomfortable.
That was
Caroline
good.
didn't
That
like
was-
that one. She's like,
That was
ooh.
throat ripping. That was a good one. I like that one.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'll pick my 3, and you can let me know if you guys can feel this pain. So the first horrifying thing is the recap episodes that are just ambiguous enough where you aren't sure if there's new content there or not. So you don't know if you can just skip it or if you have to watch the whole thing.
Very frightening.
So
Very
you kind of like
frightening.
scrub through, and then you pause and you go online and you're like, "Do I need to watch episode 7 of this show?" And they're like, "No, it's
Yes
all recap
and
except
no."
for this thing at the end." So then you try to find it, and oh my
Or
goodness,
better yet, they have a flashback or or something like they don't need all this recap in the middle or the beginning. They add something new in the middle and then do it again at the end.
The worst is when you skip the episode because you're pretty sure it's all recap, and then you go to the next episode and you're like, wait a second, I don't understand what's happening. What was that anime we watched recently where they did that? It was the one that had like stupid girl with the blue and yellow eyes. They had an episode.
Wonder Egg?
Egg Priority.
Yeah. They had a recap episode in that, and I skipped it, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't understand what's happening. And I had to go back, find where in that last episode the recap ended. Horrendous. Why? Why even have a fucking recap episode in an anime that's like 12 episodes long?
Yeah.
People are not that forgetful. Even with long-running episodes or
Listen.
shows, you don't really need recaps.
Listen,
Read the Wikipedia.
listen. I'm like the poster child of memory loss on this podcast. I can tell you right now, even I remember what was happening in that fucking anime. It's short. Killing me. Also, Josh Allen's killing me.
Killing me,
I
Small.
like Cammy's chat. She's just like coughs and utana, which is notorious for.
Kamichi. Yeah. All right, what else frightens you? Come on, Mason. Sit down
Another
on the
thing
couch.
that
What
frightens
frightens you?
me.
Tell Daddy
When
Mitz all about
season
it.
3 never comes, whether you're
Yeah.
watching your Spice and Wolf, whether you're watching, I don't know, just any of your favorite shows.
Sangatsu no Lion.
Yeah,
Sangatsu no Lion.
It just, that's
Has
season
3 in the
2's
name. Never season 3.
I mean, we had to wait like a decade for Chiayafuru, and it's worth the wait, don't get me wrong. But when you're like, man, this was good enough to get a sequel, and the sequel was good enough to like not crap the bed, it needs to have a season 3, and it just, nope. Frightening. The terror that never comes.
GTO season 3. Where's that?
Ooh.
Exactly.
God, sometimes I'd like just to have a season 2.
Exactly.
You got me interested with one.
Meanwhile, Yami Shibai has like 11 seasons. I mean, Yami Shibai, that fucking anime is dog shit. Don't I have a dog shit drop on here somewhere? I feel like
That is a big pile of shit.
I got that one. Oh, here we go. You don't like eating dog shit? There you go. Too many drops.
And finally, the most frightening thing. Luckily, we're kind of getting away from it, but sometimes when you go back to watch a classic show, they surface, and you realize the true horror of yellow subtitles.
Oh my god.
Especially if they are not like have the black outline to them, and they just bleed into your retinas and with the screen and are completely unreadable. Those I've soldiered through some difficult times with those yellow subtitles. So that's horror right there. And yeah, those are my meme entries.
That was good.
Oh my god. I need to have like bedtime. I need to watch Totoro before I go to bed after that shit. That was way too scary.
Oh, I'm so
Until
startled.
you realize that maybe they were dead all along, and that will re-scare you.
Exactly. Well, any other spooky things you guys wanted to talk about?
We have some scary bad impressions to do later.
Ooh, that
and we
do.
also have a very frightening battle between the two of you in my
yeah.
game corner.
Oh my god.
Well, we should probably get to the news break so then we can get back to all that stuff. So,
Mitz is going to be splattered all over the walls of this fucking game. Mason's just going to destroy me.
And you won't bleed blood, you will bleed monster.
Nobody
even
makes
scarier.
me bleed my own blood. Anyway, let's give you a trivia question to keep you occupied during the break. In the music. In the iconic series Lupin III, it's written and illustrated by Kazuhiko Kato. However, he goes by a pen name that consists of an animal and an action. What pen name is the author of Lupin III better known by? Think about it, and we'll let you know in just a bit, as Caroline remains spooky. See you soon.
I love this costume.
Happy Halloween! This is Mitsugi, and I'm bringing you your anime news, starting off with a truly terrifying news story. Another sports anime is coming out in 2022 titled Birdie Wing Golf Girls Story. Coming out from Bandai Namco Pictures, the story is about youths that center around two female golfers, Ava and Aoi, who grew up in completely different circumstances and have different play styles, but are still caught up in the world of women's golf. So this is coming from director Takayuki Inagaki of Chio-chan no Tsugakuro, and is coming out, and as I said, in 2022. Hopefully this one will be better than the recent hockey anime we got, as they are now making a golf anime with the girls. Next up, Fruits Basket is getting a compilation movie coming out in February of 2022, announced by the website of Fruits Basket itself. The film is going to be premiering in Japanese theaters on February 18th. It's going to serve as an omnibus of the 3-season anime series, including the story of the Kyoko and Katsuya prequel. So if you're a big fan of Fruits Basket, this staff is going to be returning at TMS Entertainment to helm the property. You'll be able to watch this compilation film sometime next year. And next up, another isekai light novel is coming out in an anime format. Novelist Kazuha Kishimoto announced that Summoned to Another World. Again, the light novel is going to be coming out in an anime format. There was once a man who was summoned to another world and saved it. Of course, he became too popular there and returned into an isekai normie. However, that man fell into a, quote, trap and was forcibly to return to his original world. Moreover, he had to start over again as a baby. So that's pretty random. I guess we're going the other direction now in isekais. So pretty interesting stuff. Next up, a sad and kind of weird Halloween-related Japan news story. So again, happy Halloween. A man dressed as the Joker injures 8 people on a Japanese train. So it looks like a Halloween train attack as a man dressed as the villain sets fire and stabs passengers. Not a particularly happy story. The incident happened in Tokyo at about 8 p.m. local time. The man spread flammable liquid around the train and then set it on fire. Passengers told the Yomiuri media outlet that they initially thought it was a Halloween prank, but after some small explosions and other activity, I think they realized that it wasn't. There's video footage showing passengers rushing out of the train after it made an emergency stop. So the man was in his 60s and was left unconscious and is in critical condition. So we'll have to see what happens with that, but very interesting and rare Halloween-related crime. And lastly, something pretty interesting. There is the dongurisoda.com website is releasing a limited edition line of Castle in the Sky goods for the big anniversary of Castle in the Sky. They've got figures of Pazu, figures of the dirigible and other characters as well as other merchandise. If you want to check out that, dongurisoda.com has some pretty cool stuff for Castle in the Sky. This is Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break, and now time to get back to the podcast right now.
Story time with Cram.
And yes, we are now presently in Cram's house.
That's right.
So
we are in the murder room. Actually.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is the murder room.
would you like to tell? You have to tell the story now.
I've told it on the podcast before, but I guess it was back in 2006, December of 2006. Someone was murdered in this house. The people that were living here. The son was taking care of his mother, and she was very ill, as I understand it. And I guess he wanted to put her out of her misery, so he took a pillow and asphyxiated her.
Right here.
Right here.
Right where we're
Same
doing this.
tatami?
Right here. Yeah, same tatami. Well, no, they changed the tatami.
Oh, they changed the
So
tatami.
we
That's
are.
good.
So you mean to tell me that we're actually broadcasting right now in the exact maybe square meter where a person was smothered to death?
Yeah.
Wow.
We're also underneath my bedroom, where a man died of an illness.
Wow.
The father.
Nobody will ever want to spend the night at Cram's house. Back to the podcast.
Happy Halloween!
And we're back with the podcast. Trivia question. When we left you, the iconic series Lupin III is written and illustrated by Kazuhiko Kato. What animal plus action pen name is he better known by? And the answer should be obvious. Monkey Punch. Most people know Monkey Punch. Very, very prolific and famous. So, ooh, Halloween is so much fun. But nothing is going to be scarier than, oh my god, the bloodbath that is about to ensue as Mason,
Yes.
I mean, what do you think, like, the betting odds would be here, but without knowing much about this game, between you and me? Like, do you think you're, like, you have, like, an 80% chance to win? What do you think?
I mean, I'm not too sure what the game is. Caroline's been very secretive about what the puzzle is. So I'm going to say
I mean,
60-40?
I haven't been purposely secretive about
No,
it. I
no,
told
you
you
haven't.
generally what it was going to be. But yeah, so we are going to have the very elusive, not very frequently done, Caroline's Game Corner. Mwahahaha. Lightning crashes. Sorry, have to dance a little bit. All right. So, in Caroline's Game Corner, I pit our two other lovely hosts, Mason and Mitsugi against each other in a battle to the almost death. Wahahaha. Or sometimes listeners. So today we are going to have a game that I like to call Who's That Creepy Creature? Ooh. Okay, so since it's Halloween, there are plenty of creepy creatures in anime, so I'm going to be reading you some riddles that I made up myself. Took a lot of work. Some of them are of better
scary
quality
amount of work.
rhymes. Some of them, some of the rhymes are better quality than others. Just keep that in mind that I was basically doing this very
rhyming.
last minute. Yes, of course.
Is this a speed game? Are we battling for speed here?
I don't know. I mean, I couldn't really decide whether I want to just. I think what I'll do is, I will break up the riddles into parts, and you guys have to see who can be the first to answer the riddle. Some of them have 2 parts. Some of them have 3 parts.
Gotcha.
So if you can get it before the other after a certain part, then you win the point.
I'm
if
old
you can
and
get
slow.
it at all, that is.
I'm old and slow, and I've got
What?
hentai on computer too here. Because we're going to be doing a hentai episode later, and that just makes me dumb. So I don't have much chance.
I mean, I also want to mention this is like the best episode to ever watch, like live on Twitch or
Live.
later on
Yeah.
YouTube. Not only do you see like the Garchomp image that Meats found for me, or Mitsugi's nipple like breakdown where he has like big question marks while showing you the lack of nipples, but you see Caroline in her ghostly attire. You see Mitz and I peck popping each other to try to assert dominance. Like really, this has everything you need from a visual podcast.
Ghostly dancing is the best kind of dancing, to be
It
honest.
really is. It really is.
I'm going to battle you in full Attack on Titan mask splendor.
Oh no.
I think
I mean, the audio quality has lessened, but they're still audible if you want to still
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
no, you're good. You're good.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, let's go. 'Cause I'm going to fuck you up, Mason.
No.
Okay. So, your first creepy creature is this. You know me from a popular show, a popular game from the word go. Can you guess what it is?
And it's like a animal or like mythical thing.
It's some sort of creature. Can't give you more than that.
Okay.
Any guesses so far?
Can you read the clue one more time? Titans have really bad hearing.
You know me from a popular show, a popular game from the word go.
Gengar.
You got it.
No shit! Oh my
Wait,
Yeah,
really?
you
god!
got it.
Oh
Yeah,
my god!
That's
Titan
it.
dance.
The game is over. The game is over. Mitch wins. Mitch wins, everybody.
Titan dance! What?
Oh man.
If I get
that
one
was
more right, I'm
clutch.
taking my shirt off.
Was there
By the
more?
way, I have. I
Was
mean,
there
yeah,
more
there was
to that
more
riddle?
to it.
Okay, so
Here-
How
here
the
was the
fuck
second
did I
part.
get that right?
It was just a guess. A good
Is that
guess.
seriously the right answer? Because I gotta say that was a
It is.
pretty
I
that was a
would've-
pretty terrible clue. Okay.
I would have taken Ghastly, Haunter, or Gengar.
Wow.
But the second part of that riddle is a little bit more specific. I have 3 forms: a ghost ready for battle, my poison can leave grass, and fairy types rattled.
Is that
Ooh.
another? Is that the next question?
No,
that
no,
was,
no.
that was the
the
second
part of
that
it.
I did not
Oh
give.
fuck! Wow, I was so good.
That
I
was
didn't even
great.
need that shit.
So like I was thinking
Yeah.
Go, like the actual game Go,
No.
not Pokemon.
Like
Go.
Pokemon Go. Yeah.
Man.
So yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Some of these are easier than others, just so you know.
Just give us a second
but-
question. Don't pour ice water on me. Come on.
He's hot. Hit us. Hit us.
No, that was very vague, and I'm very proud of you. So I have 4. By the way, I have 4 riddles overall, like 4 answers overall that you have to get. Here is your second try here, or your second riddle. I have some daddy issues that I cannot deny, but other than that, I'm sweet as pie.
Daddy issues.
Daddy issues.
And sweet as pie. Oh my goodness. I
Do
can't
you
think
want
of
your second
anything.
part?
We need the next
I would
part.
like
Okay.
a second part.
Okay. So again, there's only 2 parts to this.
Gengar.
No, it's not Gengar.
It worked the
Gengar's
first time.
daddy. Okay. I'm a creature that makes everyone cry. All I have to say is Edward, and then I tragically die.
Oh, I know who it is. Do you know, Mitz?
How about you, Mitsuki? Any guesses?
Hanako-kun?
No.
You
Oh.
take it away, Mason.
It is the Chimera. Nina is her name?
Mm-hmm.
From
Yep.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, I haven't even seen that.
Yay!
Oh my
I haven't
goodness.
even seen that
It's a
shit. That's not
meme.
fucking fair.
No, come on. It is fair. It's a very popular show, Mitsuki,
Oh my
and a
God.
very popular one as well.
No, that hurts. I'm more sad.
Yeah, that does
than scared.
I was going for the jugular.
That was good. That was good. These are good rhymes. I like them. I like them.
Yeah.
And we're
I
tied 1-1.
disagree. Next question.
Okay, so with the third and fourth ones, both of these have 3 parts. Just so
Okay.
you know.
Good to know.
And again, it's getting a little bit. I think it's going to get a little bit harder, based on my opinion. I'm a frightening beast, but deceptively cute. Oops, did I get blood on my snoot? Very vague again, but
Blood on my snoot.
I first thought it was
Blood on my
Cube,
snoot.
but the second half dissuades me from thinking that. So I don't think it's Cube.
I don't
okay.
fucking
Should I
know.
give the second part?
Yes.
Yeah,
please.
that did not have a lot of detail. I will say.
No, that's fine.
I'm one of 3. Sorry, the second part. I'm one of 3, but my power is of many. I may not have brains, but I can eat many. Or any. Sorry.
I feel like I
Kirby.
should know what it is.
I'll give that one a repeat. I'll
It's
repeat
Kirby.
He can't eat
I'm
many
one of-
and any.
I'm one of 3, but my power is many. I may not have brains, but I can eat any.
Well,
gonna
Okay,
need
so
the
I think
third
I will
part.
definitely need
Yeah.
the third part. Yes, I think you will get it after this third part. What is with the sound?
He's feeling it.
Okay. With many jaws, I have eaten the hero. Lucky for him, he can start from 0.
oh, it's the fucking rabbits from ReZero.
You got it.
Oh my god.
Have it- You know, I've not been keeping track. Is it 2 for Mitsuki and 1 for Mason?
2-1. So I need to get this
What?
tie.
I'm
Otherwise-
guaranteed
Oh,
a tie
yeah.
right now.
I should have done a 5th
Oh
one. but I
shit, the
couldn't- I
chat
was
says
having
pop
technical
off the shirt.
Can't do it. There's one rule. He's doing
Oh,
it.
the shirt. Oh my god. Oh no. So frightening.
This is. I told you guys.
Pancake
This is the
downstairs goes,
visual.
oh my god.
This is the visual episode.
I should have
I'm
just
not
done
gonna-
it with
Definitely
him.
the visual one.
I'm not gonna give people what the timestamp is. Maybe I should. No, I'm not even gonna do it in
Mitz
YouTube. You're
pops
gonna have
off
to earn
shirt
that.
at a minute 14 or 1 hour 14.
We'll need the Twitch listeners' help to clip a lot of this so people
No,
can
no,
look
no.
back at it.
And yes, factually, I have nipples. How obscene.
I know, amazing.
He's giving the people what they want.
Yeah,
Alright.
so I was proud of those rhymes. It was
All right,
good.
what's the last
Okay,
question?
so for my last one. Again, 3 parts to this. Good luck, bad luck, no matter what the day. We are working towards our permanent stay. Any thoughts?
Hotel California.
No. Okay, so I guess this means second part is a go. We
Yes.
stalk the night. Okay, actually for this part, the rhyme really sucks. I did my best with this. We stalk the night looking for dinner, but we don't eat all at once, leave some for later. Yeah, I know dinner and later do not rhyme. I just could not think of anything else.
I have no clue.
Mason is thinking super
I
hard
am
right
thinking
now.
because tying this
familiar?
game is on the line.
Does it even sound familiar to you? Like
No.
possibly even knowing?
No. Like the other one,
think
I had an inclination, but go for it. Go for it.
Okay. I got it. These sounds are dumb.
Hey.
Okay, so the third part, I feel like you'll get it with the third part. You will die, and we might bring you to our lair. But the scariest thing about us is probably our crazy hair.
What? It's not Mitsugi, that's for sure.
What?
What the fuck?
What?
Crazy hair in our lair.
And they don't want to leave forever.
What the fuck? What kind of fucking clues are these?
Ouch! I worked hard on these.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
They would have been amazing clues if I had got it right. Anyway, I don't know what it is.
Exactly. I mean, my first thought was like the weird creatures from. It's like those gopher people from the show with the mountain. Oh my goodness, I can't even think of the show, but it's got a super cool OP. What am I thinking of, people?
I don't think whatever
I
it
gave-
is, it's not correct.
I gave up
Yeah.
already. It's all up to you,
So,
Mason.
do
No.
you want me to repeat the rhymes?
I think
No,
Mason's out.
just tell me the answer. Just do it. Just end me.
It is the Shiki from
Oh.
Shiki.
Oh, I haven't
Yeah.
seen it. Oh my god, I won! Oh my, I'm dancing.
Just dancing.
Man, this
We're
hentai is
dancing.
obscene. Holy shit.
Quick, someone take Mitsuki's dancing and sync it to the mailbag dance and spite him.
Oh my god, I see what
I
you
hate
tried
that
to do.
we're watching hentai while we're doing the show.
Hey, something you gotta do what you gotta do. It's all it's all anime. It's all anime, okay? I mean, deep down.
Anime mailbag.
Ghost
Anime.
mailbags. Ghost mailbag.
Anime.
Ghost mailbags.
Anime.
Mailbag.
Aw, yeah.
It's you, Mason.
It is. I'm busy trying to look up the name of the show that I'm really popular that I'm forgetting.
Okay, well,
Oh,
I guess while you're doing that, I'll handle mailbags. How about that?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. If you would like to submit a mailbag, spooky or not, you can go to www.AAApodcast.com and click on the mailbag button. And there are a few more things there too, like, Shark Tanks and topic suggestions and things of that nature. And we have one from Closeted Anime Hatred. That's a very interesting name. And it's about me. How about that? Please, Caroline, rant more. I love anime, but these cringy moments / tropes they keep putting into our shows are painful, which isn't a question, but I appreciate it. That some people actually like my ranting, because I do think it can get a little bit grating for some people, but I can't help it. So thank you for that. Now let's head into another mailbag, which is an actual question from Jeannie, who says, oh, this is also about me. Okay. Just listened to episode 586, and I gotta say, I loved Caroline's rants on this episode.
my
As
gosh.
a woman, I appreciated the hate of fan service and rape scenes. And I believe she's talking about Editen, which I did an impression on, and yeah, I'm still kind of pissed about that show. It's just, I only watched 2 episodes, but yeah, I was pissed. And also she says, Caroline, any other huge pet peeves about anime's treatment of women? And I don't like getting on a soapbox every single episode about feminism, all that, because I know it can get grating. But since you asked, I do know I talk everyone's head off about it already, and I do kind of need to be inspired by infuriating anime moments to get a good rant. And I did a bit with the Mirko impression a couple weeks ago, so you can listen back to that if you'd like. But I will say that I've gotten frustrated with Naruto and their making of all their female ninjas either useless or take a backseat most of the time. And then most, if not all of them, become stay-at-home moms in Boruto, and that irked the heck out of me. You have all of these ninja, and they became moms, but you just relegated them to making sandwiches in the kitchen? Are you serious? And then you have Tenten, who isn't that, But she's running a shop. She's not even a ninja anymore. Based on I don't know, I can't remember how many episodes of Boruto I watched, but there were quite a few episodes. And then you have what was that one character? One of the Jonin, like one of the teachers. She was the Orochimaru student, and she actually had some, good abilities. But then they made her useless because she's like so out of shape, and like I'm not fat shaming or anything, but you're a ninja. You can do stuff. She's not doing stuff. And okay, Hinata, pretty cool as a young adult. And then they made her they gave her a mom haircut and Bermuda shorts and a weird short sleeve sweater. And I don't know why, but they made her so lame. And also, I think they should have made Himawari the main character of the Naruto sequel. I know Boruto has like intrinsic differences from the character of Naruto, but I think more interesting things could have been done with a girl main character in Naruto. It's just, they could have done more. They already have a blonde, annoying Naruto-like character. They already have him. Make Himawari the main character. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. That's it.
Do you feel the same way about these sports anime that don't take girls seriously?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't really watch them, but based on what you've said about Pride Orange or whatever the name is, it sounds absolutely ridiculous. Don't even market it as a hockey anime if you're going to make them idol.
Having to do an idol dance after every win you get. Although I'm pretty sure they're never going to play a real hockey match in that anime, so they probably won't really get to that much. But
all the promotional part is of hockey, isn't it? Most of it.
I definitely saw a trailer that was the other side of it, but. All right. What was it?
The answer is Shinsekai Yori. That's the show I was thinking of.
Okay.
From the New World. I was thinking of like Squealer, those little like big rat people. I don't know why. Anyway.
Time for
Thank
impressions?
you for the mailbags, everybody. We appreciate them.
Yeah, keep sending in mailbags, guys. AAApodcast.com. Click that mailbag button. Mash that button, and you'll get your mailbag read. All right, time for impressions.
Today, we're going to be doing impressions.
Impression time, believe it. Ugh.
All right, we got a whole bunch of impressions to do for you today. Honestly, we've got 5. So we're going to start off with Osama Ranking, which is a Caroline joint. So why don't you take it away, Caroline, with some Osama Ranking.
Okay, so this was a show initially. If you listen to our after parties, we were looking through some shows for this season when we were picking shows. And I noticed this one, Osama Ranking, or the Ranking of Kings, otherwise known as. And I was looking at the promo art in the description, and I was like thinking to myself, this is really strange. Is this a kids show? And Mason dropped some hints that like, actually, it's going to be pretty good. And I'm like, great, I'll put it at the top of my list and I'll F everyone else over. So yeah. And I have to say that was a very accurate description of this show, because at first when you kind of look at the promo art, it does look kind of childish. But when you watch the show, this has got to be one of the most amazing looking shows all year. It's like storybook-esque. The backgrounds, incredible. Like beautiful backgrounds. And one of the almost even better, when you have a show with beautiful backgrounds, most of the time the animated parts, like the actual characters and things moving in the foreground, it doesn't look as good as the background in comparison, which can be a little, it takes you out a little bit. But the characters just move. Like they're just like seamlessly in this show. It's just so damn good looking.
So seamless.
And yeah, it's great. And the story itself is also very interesting. It's about the main character. His name's Boji. He is the prince of this country, but he looks very much like a young child. He's very small, and on top of that, he cannot hear. He's deaf. And in this show, they also use sign language, which is amazing. You don't really see that very often. So he's deaf. He can't really speak very well. And everyone treats him very poorly, kind of not really having a lot of, hopes for him. He's the heir of the throne, but he can't even wield a sword because he's just so weak. So he has this younger half brother that is more favorited to ascend to the throne. He even looks older, even though he is younger. So that gives me the impression that Boji is actually kind of like is portrayed looking younger, but that's not how he's actually looked at, like in this world. So while this younger brother is favored for the throne, Boji kind of goes about like really wanting to become king in this country. But even so, it's just doesn't really have a lot of the best hallmarks of becoming a king. He comes across a shadow on the ground, which is actually a creature from the like the Kage clan, I think it's called. I can't remember if that's the full name of it, but they're basically these shadow creatures that were used as assassins, but has since been pretty much eradicated. There's only at least one of them left that Boji meets, and at first he kind of steals from Boji, like just kind of asks Boji. He asks Boji like, "Hey, give me your very fancy clothes and that kind of thing," and Boji just gives it to him because he's that kind of nice guy. Just doesn't really want to get into any trouble with anybody, so he just gives it to him. He even comes back and brings him more nice clothes just to help him out, and so that the now thief assassin or from the assassin clan can just sell it out for money. And eventually the shadow follows Boji back to the castle where Boji's in the middle, or Boji's brother's in the middle of a fencing or a sword lesson, and Boji can barely raise a sword against his brother, but he engages in a duel with his brother, and he is actually extremely like quick. He moves very well. He is able to dodge all these attacks and like give a slight bonk on the head to his brother with these dueling or the what's it called? They're just sticks, but they're not really swords or anything like that.
Kendo sticks.
So he's making yeah, I guess so. But like he's making all of these attacks on his brother, not really hurting him, but like showing that like he is able to make an attack on him and his brother cannot. So everybody's watching this. But one of the guards makes a motion to Boji that, like, this is not the fighting of a king. Like, you need to trade swords with him. You have to actually hit his sword back, not just avoid it. And that, like, leaves Boji to just grovel on the ground, essentially. Like his little brother is now mercilessly, like, I did not say that correctly, mercilessly beating him with this stick. And it's just so awful. Like, Boji's like on the ground suffering, and he's like, "Oh, I win, yay!" And I'm like, "Fuck you, kid, you are so horrible." And by the end of it, Boji is in gauze head to toe, completely like incapacitated, but still moves to try even pick up a sword. Like he really wants to become king. He wants to be somebody that people can, take a leadership from. And the Shadow sees this, and he decides that he wants to be in Boji's corner. Like, he wants to support him in any way he can, and that is the start of their friendship. And Boji starts crying, and it's like so sweet. This is the first episode, and I'm already crying. So yeah, it's a great first episode. I've only watched 2 episodes so far, and it just gets better from that. This is bound to be one of the best animes this season, so it is with no reservations that I pass Osama ranking. Sorry, that was a lot to say, and I probably should not have said all of it, but what can I say? It's so much happens in this first episode, and you get the Shadow's backstory in the second as well, which is equally very good.
Boji, our guy, #our boy.
There you go. Oh boy.
That was a lot of rambling, and I apologize.
we only have 2 passes left this season, and then we're going to be doing listener choice. So I'm excited. I always love doing listener choice. So that's coming up here pretty soon, after next week. But the next anime on the list here is, and thank you, Caroline, very much for the very excited impression. We're going to be doing an impression on takt op.Destiny, which is certainly one of the more interestingly titled shows of the season, I would say without a doubt. And takt op.Destiny is an original anime from Mappa and Madhouse, so if you can imagine that clashing of worlds. And it's a pretty interesting show. It's about, it's like something somewhere, it's like, it's got a little bit of listeners in it. It's got a little bit of Symphogear maybe in it. But in the United States has been taken over by these monsters called D2s that are this species that came from a black meteorite that fell to Earth, and humanity's all fucked up because of it. Meanwhile, amongst the disheveled and just destroyed humanity, there are these life forms called music arts that are young women's that represent pieces of classical music, and then there are conductors that control the young women, who together they fight against the D2s. So you have Takt, who is, the titular character, who is this piano prodigy who transforms into a conductor and helps to fend off these spontaneous attacks by the D2. And then there's the very cute, her name's Destiny, who's also in the title, and she's a very well designed character for sure, and she turns into a music art and helps to fight against the D2s. Now, this anime, it was pretty interesting to me right off the bat because it's a pretty solid representation of classical music in this anime. It's, of course, it does have that, but like as a classical music snob myself, it's a lot of like the very cliche classical pieces. So like, it's Moonlight Sonata, Beethoven's Pathetique Sonata. They did play, I believe, DAC Ray from the K626 Mozart Requiem, which by the way is Caroline's ranting music, and also the Church of Mitsubi music, which is I believe they played this in one of the episodes.
It's probably all music that even if like a non-orchestral person listened to, they'd recognize it and know like, oh, I've heard that one before. I just don't know like the name of it, like that kind of thing.
Definitely Moonlight Sonata. They will recognize. Pathetique Sonata is a very common like senior and high school level like capstone piece if you were going to get like a diploma for piano like before you go to college, and it's like one of the more commonly loved piano pieces anyway. But like the music aside, because it's obvious the music is quite good in this, the action is also quite good. So the action scenes are very energetic, they move fast, they're vibrant, things are exploding. Destiny, the girl, is like flying around, blowing up these monsters. But when she does fight, it uses up the life force of Takt. So oftentimes her fighting is at the cost of his life. So he'll end up like taking no damage at all. But at the end of the fight, he's like on his hands and knees, like half dying because she's like sucked up so much of his life force to fight. Ultimately, this is a pretty solid anime. But the story is kind of not. It doesn't have much of a story through the first 3 episodes. I explained the whole story to you. It's basically like, oh, we're trying to get to New York City, and then, like these monsters attack and they fight the monsters, and then they bumped into another conductor in episode 3 whose name is Lenny, and he's got, his own music art, and everybody in the show has great character designs. Unfortunately, I already passed 2 anime this season, so I'm not going to pass this one. I do think that it was worth passing. I said last week I had 4 anime that were really good. 4 out of my 7 shows were excellent, and it was a very tough choice. I just felt like this show didn't have as much storyline going for it as the others, and I can see this show kind of getting into a Monster of the Week trend where they just kind of like slowly meander their way towards New York, and ultimately it's just the same stuff every episode of them fighting, and then Takt nearly dying, and him brooding his ass off while he plays piano music, which I really appreciate a lot, because that's, I'm a pianist as well. But, people in the Twitch, at least one person is like, oh, I'm so sad. Well, put your money where your mouth is and vote for it for the listener choice. Plenty of opportunity. You got 3 whole shows coming out of that. And this is one of the highest watched shows of the season. So I'm actually not that worried about this one. I think this one has a pretty strong chance of being voted in. And but Takt op.Destiny, while being a good show that I would recommend to a lot of people, just doesn't quite. I just can't squeeze it in there with the rest. So, but I'll be crossing my fingers for this one coming out from the listener choice. And now, rather than playing fail drops, I'm just gonna play scream noises. There you go. So that one fails. That Takt op.Destiny.
Oh wait,
next
I have
up.
a question.
Yes, of course.
So, Takt is the character. Destiny is the character. Is there a character named Op?
No.
No, it's the OP for the show.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
So, yeah, I mean, op stands for opus, I think, which is, a musical term for like, a section of music or whatever. So, you could think of it as like the act or whatever, or like the like that Requiem piece has like 15 different sections in it. So you think of it, they're just throwing a music term into the title. So, Lupin III Part 6 is next. Mason.
Yeah, Lupin is back. More of the long-running Monkey Punch property. Lupin and the gang are now in England, attempting to uncover the secrets behind a secret organization called the Raven, which is allegedly running Britain from the shadows. And it wouldn't be a London-based mystery/heist show without Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, God.
So it's another one of those. Sherlock has like half of a secret map. Lupin and the team have the other half. Dr. Watson has been murdered and now is replaced with a little girl. And it's more Lupin and hijinks. At this point, it was kind of strange because episode 1 of Lupin Part 4 was fire. It was such a good opening. It was really a like return to form for the show. Part 5 had an amazing episode 1 as well. Episode 1 of Part 6 was kind of just fine. And I feel like that's how I'm going to think about this season as a whole. It's more Lupin, so if you already like it and are already engaged with it, you will enjoy it. The music remains excellent and iconic and probably the best reason to watch the show. But from a like visual standpoint, the CG cars are kind of absurdly cartoonish, even from a Lupin level, and their crashes and destruction is more cringy than charming. Sherlock himself as a character is a force to be reckoned with, but he's not really an interesting or eccentric character. He's kind of just whatever. The chases are just alright, but resort to using a lot of the same tricks you've seen from Lupin over the years, as well as the same tricks within the same episode, where like Sherlock uses something bright to like blind, someone in the eyes with like reflecting the sun, and then Lupin does the same thing like a couple minutes later. And maybe that's to like argue, hey, Lupin and Sherlock, they're kind of cut from the same cloth, they're going to be great rivals, but it also is just kind of the same things being done over and over. So honestly, like you could probably jump into this knowing nothing about Lupin or just looking up some Spark Notes online, essentially because it's very arc or episodic based. But it seems to be a step down in quality compared to some of the previous entries and is not as immediately endearing. So I don't know why you would want to start with this part unless you're doing some group watch. Like, we're 6 parts in. The Lupin formula is well established, and despite the slight shakeup a couple years back, like there's not enough new meat to pick from the bones to justify review. Like, it's fine. It's a good show, but honestly, if you're new to Lupin, start with another part. Watch Cagliostro, watch the first 2 movies of the Brutal remake, watch the Fujiko spin-off. It's not bad, but it's kind of business as usual, so probably not worth a review. But if you like Lupin, you're probably just excited to have it back, so we're gonna fail it.
Am I the only one that's like really tired of Sherlock Holmes? Is it just me? It could be.
No. I mean, I tend to give all the Sherlock shows a chance because they are varying different quality. And there's been a couple in recent years between Moriarty the Patriot and Kabukicho Sherlock, which definitely leaned into the absurd and just like larger than life characters. And that was kind of fun, but when it's just Sherlock Holmes and the name is doing most of the character building than actual any interest going on, feels like lazy shorthand. So when it's done like this, yeah, I'd say I'm a little tired of it as well.
Gotcha. All right, I think Caroline liked this one. There you go.
And I don't know about you guys. I don't know if this really needs to be put onto the listener's choice by now. I think people already know what they think of Lupin at this point. We've kind of already said our piece on Lupin. And let's talk about new shows. So I don't think we'll put this on the listener choice poll. I just wanted to talk about Lupin some more, so that was my excuse for picking it.
Well, the listener choice poll pretty clearly says that shows after season 2 are not on it.
Exactly.
So, All right, what do we got next here? Senpai ga Uzai Kohai no Hanashi from this
Yep.
is the Caroline joint, so take it away.
Yep, and you might be familiar with the English translation of the title, which is My Senpai Is Annoying. Very, simple. So this is a pretty popular manga from what I can tell. It's about a woman who is corporate Japan. She's, office job. She's wearing her little pantsuits, whatever. She's looking like she's in charge, but she's also extremely short. She looks like a child. She sometimes acts like a child too, but she insists that she's an adult. She's literally of age. She can drink some beer. She can do her job. But then she has her coworkers, one in particular, her senpai, who she goes out on, business calls with and all that, who is, pretty decent guy. He's very energetic. She's, loud. But the thing is that he also treats her like a child almost constantly. Pats her on the head, makes her feel like she's, she is short, but, even shorter. Yeah, I can see why she'd be a bit annoyed with that. But she also kind of likes him, She has a little crush.
It's so cute.
So she's conflicted with her feelings, with, being annoyed by him, but also being like, oh, he's just, she likes him. So it's a, pretty simple show, but I feel like the characters are really fun. And I really like the show. I am enjoying it. It's probably also, with Osama ranking, one of the shows I'm most enjoying. But here's the thing. It's not really the show that kind of lends itself to a very interesting discussion, at least by the first 3 episodes. I don't really think it's going to get much deeper than how deep it's already gone with, character situations and all that. Because there are, other office romances going on, which is pretty fun. And I highly recommend it. But unfortunately, I think there are some other shows that I'll be watching this season that might provide a better review conversation. But I will highly recommend it and ask you to please vote for it in the listener's choice, please. And that's the end.
That's fine, as long as you vote for takt op.Destiny first.
Yeah, no hard fails this show so far. Like takt op, just takt op was sorry. I already passed 2, it's not bad. Vote for it. Annoying senpai, it's not bad. Please vote for it. Lupin, it's not bad. You can't vote for it, but there you go.
All right. Well,
will that trend continue?
Senpai got Uzai. Bye. All right. The last one is Shin no nakama janai to yusha no party o oidasareta no de henkyou de slow life suru koto ni shimashita. Which is I got banned from the heroes party and now I'm gonna have a quiet countryside life is basically what that translates into, and that might be the longest title I've ever heard. They keep getting longer.
No.
Oh,
We've
come
had much
on,
longer.
that's fucking long. I mean, holy heaven.
That's
1, 2,
got
3, 4,
nothing
5,
on 6. The mom and her 2-hit multi-combo attack or whatever, right?
This is 20 words. If you can find a Japanese, go check on the one you mentioned. We'll see which one's longer.
1, 2, 3.
This is from
4,
Studio
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Studio
15.
Flad or Wolf's Bane. It's a light novel, isekai, of course. So I seem to be the one that picks most of the isekai anime. I think that's pretty much accurate. But this one is about a guy named Red who is in the heroes party, which is all these anime are always about some hero fighting the evil demon lord or whatever. And he gets tossed out of the party, I guess, because he's just not strong enough. And he goes to the countryside where he's going to live a peaceful life. And he runs into a girl named Rit, who is, as Pancake would say, you're the big-titted one, I guess. She's the TNA of the show. She's this hot blonde anime girl character with big breasts and thigh-high stockings and whatever. And she's not
What does TNA stand for?
Tits and ass. Oh, you like that, huh?
Okay.
We're learning things every day.
It's just a matter of fact.
Yeah, so she's not really overly sexualized in this show though, honestly. I mean, yeah, she is like, your typical hot blonde hair, blue-eyed anime girl, but but she's not like, they're not doing like panty shots every 5 seconds or like feeling her up, to my recollection. So at least it's not quite that overt, but in this anime, the Red is like really powerful. So even though he got thrown out of the hero party, he was like strong enough to be in the party to begin with. So he's a pretty powerful guy, and he decides that he wants to start an apothecary. So they open up like this little shop where they're selling, what the hell were they selling? Like cookies that were medicinal or some shit. Like he baked cookies and they were like, had like healing properties, and that involves him going out and finding herbs in the woods and whatever the fuck, just stuff like that. And it's a pretty like, slow life. Slow life is in the title. It's kind of a slow anime. But then like around the 3rd episode, I think they realized that the hero party realizes that they actually had some use for him after all. And then I think so. Then they send one of the members of the hero party off to try to re-recruit him, which we didn't get to yet in the 3rd episode. But I could see that kind of not going well because, he's interested in running his shop now and having his quote-unquote quiet life. But this anime it's really not that bad, honestly, but it's one of the shows I have that I just didn't think it was all that good. It was just kind of like average. So, I mean, if you're into like if you're looking for like a slice of life isekai show that didn't particularly seemed like it was, overly sexual, or your typical, let's just go like fight the demon lord, or, I'm not born as like a slime or some shit. Like, if you just want like, more of a normal type of show, I think this is probably pretty good for you. But this is definitely not as interesting as my other isekai show, which was the assassin one. And, I would say it is not quite as flashy as some of the ones we've had in past seasons either. So this one I will not be passing. Wouldn't be surprised to see it come back because it's isekai, but, we got better places to be. There you go. So that's the actual English title is Banished from the Heroes Party. I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. Did you have a question?
The ghost is.
Yeah, yes,
ghost
Ghost-san.
is raising its
Yes,
hand.
Yude-san, do you have a question?
Yes. So, this is an isekai. At what point does the isekai part come in? So, are you saying that this guy was reborn in another world, entered the heroes party, got kicked out, and started an apothecary business by the end of the 1st episode?
There's no like section of this show where they feature him in the main world. I think I just kind of presumed that this one was an isekai. 1, because it's a light novel. 2, because it has an extremely long title. And 3, because the like plot line of the show, it falls in line exactly with what the normal isekai shows are, which is, I'm in like this fantasy world with levels and all this, and so they didn't overtly say he's from like Philadelphia or some shit in this or from Tokyo or something in this anime, but. So maybe you're right. Maybe this isn't an isekai. Maybe it's not an isekai, but it sure feels like one. It has every single thing an isekai show would have, except like him getting like a 2-minute clip of him getting like run over by a train or something like right at the beginning. So, but that's a good question. Only an isekai could have a title that obnoxious.
I don't know. There are some pretty obnoxious titles for other shows.
How do they even fit that shit onto the cover of a light novel? And how are you still wearing that fucking cloth over yourself? Are you like burning up in that thing?
I did have to take off my sweater, but it's all good.
Okay.
At this
I'm
point,
chilling.
it's just a part of pride.
Oh yeah.
Well, yes, but it's also it amuses me, not just other people.
Exactly, it is very funny.
Plus-
but yeah, I mean, the
Plus,
show.
at this
If it
point,
looks
my
like an
hair is
isekai-
probably a mess. My hair is probably a mess at this point.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. No, at this
Hiding
point, like
it.
the show, it's got a title like an isekai. It feels like an isekai. Just call it an ahiru and call it a day.
All right. Well, that's the end of the impressions, guys. We got 2 more to pass here. So the ones we've passed are Heikei Monogatari, the world's finest assassin gets reincarnated as an aristocrat, Platinum End, and Osama Ranking. And I think the ones we have left to do are Deep Insanity, The Lost Child, Jobless Reincarnation Season 2, Blue Period, I don't think we did Ganbare Doki-chan yet.
Oh no, we have not, and that will be a true experience.
Sakugan, Sai Hate no Paladin. If we've done any of these, let me know. And Komi-san Komi-san can't communicate. So there's 7 more, of which 2 will pass, and then we'll be opening up the listener choice following next week, so you guys can vote on whichever anime you think, whichever 3 animes you think should be added to the list. And I'm looking forward to seeing what those are. But oh my God, Halloween!
We did it. This was a fun one. Thank you guys so much for coming in to listen. Before you tune out, before you're like, oh, I don't care about their Twitters or the Discord, or before you just reminder, next episode on November 7th, we're going to be doing our 600 special. Join the Discord so you can call in and talk about all the stuff that you love about anime, for what it inspires about it, or what the words. I can't even talk myself. So do it for me. Pay attention. We'll tell you all about how we're going to do it, and you can join in and have a blast. It should be a bunch of fun, and we'd love to have you there. Okay, now you can tune out because you can follow us on Twitter. Wait. Yeah, go ahead.
Another thing. For the new people that have entered the Twitch stream, if you have an anime pumpkin and you'd like to submit it, please do by the end of tonight, so you can possibly get a prize from the AAA podcast. Woo!
Ooh. But yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, good. Follow us, Twitter, at AAA Podcast. Caroline does all the stuff. You can see the pumpkins. It's a bunch of fun there. Follow me at Macy Pacey. Most importantly, though, just go to the website at AAApodcast.com. That's where you submit the mailbags. That's where you find links to our Discords, our Facebook. It's where you go to iTunes and give us 5-star reviews, and where you can get all our bonus content and just everything. It's really the place to be. Next week, as we said, final round of impressions. Call in episode 600 special. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. Go eat some candy and just have a good rest of October for a couple hours.
October's almost over. It's have a happy Halloween and be safe. Don't get into too much trouble out there. Don't do anything stupid. Don't drink and drive. That's the thing that we should be worried about. Don't drink and drive. Call an Uber. You can have way more fun calling an Uber. You can get twice as messed up. Stay out extra late. Whatever. It's a lot more fun that way. So just be safe, and we'll see you guys next week on the podcast. Until then, take care, and we'll see you. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye. Woo!